Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my Line of God's Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to go ahead and read you a chapter from the Bible. Today I will be continuing with 2 Samuel chapter 21. Then there was a famine in the days of David 3 years. Year after year, and David inquired of the Lord. And the Lord answered, It is for Saul, and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites. And the king called the Gibeonites, and said unto them, Now the Gibeonites were not of the children of Israel, but of the remnant of the Amorites. And the children of Israel had sworn unto them. And Saul sought to slay them, in his zeal to the children of Israel and Judah. Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, What shall I do for you? And wherewith shall I make the atonement, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Lord? And the Gibeonites said unto them, We will have no silver nor gold of Saul, nor of his house, neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, What ye shall say, this will I do for you. And they answered the king, The man that consumed us, and that devised against us that we should be destroyed from remaining in any of the coasts of Israel. Let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. And the king said, I will give them. But the king spared Mephibosheth, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, because of the Lord's oath that was between them, between David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. But the king took the 2 sons of Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, whom she bore unto Saul, Armoni and Mephibosheth, and the 5 sons of Michal, the daughter of Saul, whom she brought up for Adriel, the son of Barzillai the Mehelotite. And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Lord. And they fell all 7 together, and were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, in the beginning of the barley harvest. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock, from the beginning of harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. I was told David what Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, the concubine of Saul, had done. And David went and took the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son from the men of Jabesh Gilead, which had stolen them from the street of Bethshan, where the Philistines had hanged them, when the Philistines had slain Saul in Gilboa. And he brought up from thence the bones of Saul and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged, and the bones of Saul and the bones and the bones of Jonathan his son, and they gathered the bones of them that were hanged, and the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin in Zelah, in the sepulchre of Kish his father, and they performed all that the king commanded. And after that God was entreated for the land. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war again with Israel, and David went down and his servants with him, and fought against the Philistines, and David waxed faint. And Ishbi-Benob, which was of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David. But Abishai the son of Zeruiah succored him, and smote the Philistine, and killed him. Then the men of David swore unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel. And it came to pass after this, that there was again a battle with the Philistines at Gob. Then Shibechai the Hushathite slew Saph, which was of the sons of the giant. And there was again a battle in Gob with the Philistines, where Elhanan the son of Jeroregim, a Bethlehemite, slew the brother of Goliath the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. And there was yet a battle in Gath, where was a man of great stature, that had on every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number, and he also was born to the giant. And when he defied Israel, Jonathan the son of Shemiah, the brother of David, slew him. These 4 were born to the giant in Gath, and fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. What a fascinating chapter. So it begins with the problem, which is the famine. And David asks God, what is happening? And God says it's because of the disobedience that Saul showed toward the Gibeonites, because he slew them. So David asked the Gibeonites, how can recompense be made? And they said, let 7 men of the sons of Saul be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. And the king said, I will give them. So he gives 7 of the sons, and they're hanged. And of course, after that, this is a very beautiful verse here in 2 Samuel 21:10. And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock, from the beginning of harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. So Rizpah shows a kindness here, and that's the idea that she shows a kindness to the bodies, that none of the birds should be should just pick at the dead. So after that, this verse is very powerful here. After that, David hears what happens, and he goes and he gets the bones back of Saul and Jonathan. And this is the verse here. And the bones of Saul and Jonathan his son buried they in the country of Benjamin in Zelah, in the sepulchre of Kish his father, and they performed all that the king commanded. And after that, God was entreated for the land. So I believe that, I'm going to look up other translations, but I believe that that is the final verse there, where finally everything is made right. So the verse is 2 Samuel 21, 14 different translations. So this, I believe, is, God answered the prayer for the land. So that after the justice is done to the household of Saul for the Gibeonites, and then eventually David also buries the bones of Saul and Jonathan, and that God receives the prayer. And after that, the Philistines make war once more. And this is a very powerful verse, because first you get that moment where you're worried about David, right? The verse is more than 2 Samuel 21:15. Moreover, the Philistines had yet war again with Israel. And David went down and his servants with him and fought against the Philistines, and David waxed faint. So you're concerned in this moment for David. And you get this beautiful verse here. And Ishbi-Benob, which was of the sons of the giant, the weight of whose spear weighed 300 shekels of brass in weight, he being girded with a new sword, thought to have slain David. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, succored him, and smote the Philistine, and killed him. Then the men of David swore unto him, saying, Thou shalt go no more out with us to battle, that thou quench not the light of Israel. So I just thought that was so powerful. Why? Because it was the men are like, David, we can't risk you anymore. And mind you, we don't know how old, I don't specifically know how old David is at this point. He's a mortal man, he's a human man, and he's been fighting for, it seems like, decades. Surely at this point, at some point, David is getting older, right? Yeah, so the men are we can't risk you out here anymore. But then it's so powerful, because the verses after that are David's servants slaying the giants, and it's just so powerful, to think of the bravery and how difficult it must have been for them to slay those giants, but they did, and it's just awesome to think of, and just so great. So yeah, absolutely awesome chapter. So yeah. And that wonderful chapter there, and so you have that beautiful verse where Rizpah doesn't want the bodies to be to be picked at, and of course once that's done and David reclaims the bones of Saul and Jonathan, the Lord receives the prayer, and presumably the famine goes away. And then David, who's probably been fighting for so long, right? It says he waxes faint, but it is not the end, and his men rally and they defeat the giants. And I love the way that they care for him, that they actually, David, we can't risk you because of how special he is. And you saw that other verse previously where it said David is 10,000 of them. What an honor that must be. And that, of course, that you think of the other verse where it says they sang the songs of how Saul slayed his thousands, but David his 10,000s, and how much that angered Saul. And it's when you see the kind of loyalty and respect that David commands with the men, man, it's just so incredible, because you're David is a man. It's and it's he's that guy, he's one of the greatest figures in the history of the Bible. So I know another incredible chapter for him. So yeah, and for the people of Israel. So with that, I'll go and end the Bible reading there for today. and transition over to what I have achieved since yesterday's daily dive video. I worked my software engineering job. I worked at my core, chest, legs, and back. And with no further achievements since yesterday's daily dive video, I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.